Hi everyone, my name is Belinda, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm a professional speaker with the John Maxwell team. I'm looking to build my ministry as a spiritual director and a speaker and teacher. And today I'm focusing on two things. The first one is make time to listen, and the second one is model the way. So for the first one, make time to listen. Right now, I'm fortunate because, in a way, I'm waiting for the work to come in. And waiting for things to happen is like going fishing. Most of the time when you're fishing, you're sitting and waiting for that fish to bite. You can have put out all the, at home in Zimbabwe, we have this mix that you put out, you spread it out on the water so the fish will come. You can have your worm on your hook, you can have everything ready, and you're sitting and waiting for this fish to bite, and the fish is not biting. So this is what the time that I'm in right now, which gives me ample opportunities to make time to listen to talks, to listen to teachings, for John Maxwell, for other spiritual leaders, for business talks, for joining in things. It gives me ample time. So when we focus on listening, we make quiet times to listen. And we focus on what is it that we want to take away from that time of learning, of quiet. Usually for me, I get up early, so I focus on either doing a walk in my apartment or I go out. Sometimes I'll just sit quietly and I'll just enjoy that quiet time. Other times I'll do it later in the day because there are parks nearby. So when there's a lot of people around, I'll go for a walk in the park. Today I had to go and pick up some groceries. And when we listen, our bodies also listen. So when I was in the metro, there were two Asian women, Chinese women, and I opened my purse to get my phone out, and my body picked up like a cautionary sense, and I closed my purse quickly because they were coming up right beside me. And then once they moved away, I opened it and I took out what I needed. So we have different ways of listening. It's not only our body. We can listen with our ears. We can listen with our heart. Those are ways of listening. And we can also ask God to guide us. So Psalm 25:4-5 says, "Show me the right path, O Lord. Point out the road for me to follow. Lead me by your truth and teach me, for you are the God who saves me." We can ask God for his guidance and ask for his assistance in quieting our minds and our hearts, and to help us to trust, to hear, understand, and follow his guidance. That's what we can do in making time to listen. And then the second point that I'm focusing on from a leader's heart, model the way. So often people will see what we're saying, but they will watch what we are doing more than what we are saying. And if we don't feel appreciated, if we don't feel that our efforts after many, many years are not bringing us the opportunities we want, they're not bringing us the income we want, they're not being rewarded, then people will start making decisions to look elsewhere, whether it's on our teams, in companies, in different organizations. That's what ends up happening, because you'll find that even with children, or even with us in our families, when I came here, I was doing everything the right way, and then I noticed, you know what, I'm not getting anywhere, so I'm going to copy what other people are doing who are actually succeeded. They've actually succeeded in this Canada environment. So I put the phone down on people. If they shouted at me, I shouted back at them. If they said to me, "We're not family anymore," I said, "Okay, that's fine. We're not family anymore. If that's how you want it, I'm not going to let it hurt me." So the culture is important in a country and how you treat people because it's being modeled for you. We didn't grow up swearing all the time. We didn't grow up using foul language, vulgar language in our home. But here, that's how people are. It's in the music even. If you listen to Elvis Presley's music, do you hear him swearing and using vulgar language? Do you see him going naked on the stage? Do you see any of that? You don't. So that's the music I grew up with. ABBA, Elvis Presley, David Scooby, like all these, those are the artists I listen to. But that's how the culture is here. So then when I went to work and I did it, then they said to me, oh no, you mustn't put the phone down on them. I said, oh, but why not? That's how people treat me. They're like, no, don't put the phone down on them. I said, oh, and if they're shouting at me and screaming at me? So eventually they said, okay, you can tell them twice to stop, and then you tell them that if you don't stop, I'm going to put the phone down. But things are modeled for us. So the more I did good, the worse things got for me. The more I helped in the church, the more I came up, the more I was there for people, the worse things got for me. So I decided, you know what, pull back and start focusing on other avenues of how you could get an income coming in, what you can look at, what you can do, because I don't want to keep going back into minimum wage. I don't want to keep going back into, yes, mentoring people, but then watching them get HR director level roles because I mentored them and then I'm being put into minimum wage. That's not what I want for my life. I also want to own those nice properties, big properties, have my own car, have the support that I need to do that. So that's what I am focusing on right now. And if people see that you are positive and trustworthy and you have admirable qualities, then they will seek you as an influencer in their life. So with me, I'm fortunate that my nieces like me. They're in England, but they will still call me, they'll talk to me, they'll tell me about how their day went, their school, what they're doing. So I like that. Not everybody likes that, but I like that. So it's good for me. Some people don't like it. They're like, oh no, that's their family, just leave them. So I'm not like that. But it depends on what do you want to grow, what do you want to nurture in your life, what do you want to have in your life. Those are the things to focus on. When you first meet people, you have no influence over them at all because people still need to get to know you, they need to trust you, they need to see who you are and what you're doing in the community before they can trust you. And then once they trust you, then they will allow you to help them. Because for us as Maxwell speakers, being leaders is not about titles. It's not about saying, oh, I'm a spiritual director. Oh, I have all this. Oh, belong to HRPA. It's not about that. It's about being able to help others and earn our living and making things better for ourselves and others. I mean, when I came to Canada, I came with nothing. I came with just my clothes on my back and the clothes in my suitcase. And slowly over time, I've built things up. I slept on a futon. Then I got a bed. Then after getting the bed, then I got some sheets and towels. And then after that, I bought things. The last thing I bought was my TV. That's the very last thing I bought. I bought the TV like 3 years ago. That's the last thing I bought because I had a computer which was big enough to watch shows on, videos and TV and all that. And everything here is streamed through the internet. So I didn't need a TV, but now I have the TV, so I enjoy it. And it's important to know, like, what are your priorities? Because for me, my priority was paying my rent, getting my education, retraining to Canadian standards, and then using the values that I have to build up my community and my life. But every time I got a job, every time the cutbacks came, they let me go. all the banks, BMO, TD, RBC, CIBC, Mellon, CIBC. I worked at Toronto Western Hospital. I volunteered at St. Mike's Hospital. I've done a lot in Canada. So I'm like, you know what? This is like destroying me, destroying my soul. I'm not going to let this destroy my life. I have to keep moving forward and keep finding that next opportunity, that next way to make an income, that next way to, if I have to relocate and go somewhere else, then relocate and go somewhere else. But they say that you have to show loyalty, but then that loyalty has to also be returned to you. Loyalty is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street, the same as our loyalty to the Lord. The Lord wants our loyalty. He wants our loyalty. He wants our hearts. He wants our talents. He wants our gifts. And if we're not getting opportunities to use them in one place, then we have to look for opportunities to use them in another place and earn an income. So if I don't earn an income, I can't make donations to the church. And if it's not just me, if it's 61% of the Canadian population, then eventually the churches are going to close, the schools are going to close, and then we're going to be living in a state of welfare. People used to laugh at Zimbabwe and South Africa, but now they're the ones best equipped to survive. They're the ones who have the backup generators, they're the ones who have the boreholes, they're the ones who have the solar panels for the electricity. If that fails, they've got a backup generator. All of that is coming here now. So they used to laugh at us and say, oh yeah, you're from the third world countries, so you don't tell us what to do. You have an attitude of entitlement. Now it's all come here. Pantry prepping, making sure you have at least 3 months of food on hand, buying tin foods, making sure that you're teaching people skills like how to cook, how to sew, how to bake. Those are all the things that people used to laugh at us because it's so easy to just go to the store and pick it up and it's ready-made and just bring it home. But now the people like us who have those skills, we are the ones that are becoming more valued because people here, generally speaking, they don't look at those skills as valuable. So that's important to know. And if someone you trust introduces you to someone, you can temporarily borrow some of their influence. So like for me, I'm borrowing the influence that this John Maxwell gives me. But I also have to work at it. I have to take action. I have to put my videos out. I have to use my own life examples of how I've transitioned, how I've mentored others, how I've helped others, how my work has benefited companies so that they've become some of the top 50 in the world. That's what happened at TD. That's what happened at Teleperformance. It's pushback. Without that pushback, things don't get better for the workers. And if things don't get better for the workers, the company lands up losing the clients. That's what happens. Because your employees are your greatest asset. They're not your liability. If you're a bad manager, you'll say, oh, but my salaries are my biggest cost. So I'm going to cut the salaries and I'm going to focus on driving out more profitability with less people. And it never works. And that's what they keep doing in Canada, and that's why they keep failing. Because you're not looking at job sharing, you're not looking at making headcount cuts the last resort, you're not looking at retaining people, you're not looking at training and developing people. You're looking at, oh, let's cut the salaries. And if people lose their livelihoods and their families go into poverty, that's not your problem, right? Until things start happening where it's starting to affect now in Canada 61% of the population. But if it's just Belinda, well, that's not your problem, right? You're not her family, so why should you care? Now it's 61% of the population that it's hurting. So now people have to care. As soon as you have some time, observe people. You can either observe your team, or observe in your community. There's always opportunities to help people if you want. If you don't want, you don't have to. If your life is fine and your needs are taken care of and you don't see the point of helping people, you don't have to. Nobody's going to force you. But for us, when they talk about leadership, when they talk about being a servant leader, that's what it's about. It's about helping others, making a difference in others' lives, whether you're a teacher or a firefighter or a speaker or whatever you choose to do. You're making a difference to build up the community. You're not going into banking to launder money, to make the most profit in the world and to make more and more profit while everything around you is crumbling. That's what the communist countries do. That's what happened in Zimbabwe. That's what happened in South Africa. And part of it is the IMF and the World Bank and all of them, because they come in with structural reform when everything's going well, everything's just where you want it. And then they'll come in and say, oh no, implement this structural reform program, and they'll break everything. Just like that weed that the Chinese put into Lake Maxwell. It was supposed to cleanse the water. It landed up taking over the whole dam. They did the same thing in South Africa. The Chinese only care about money. They don't care about now that principle of, oh, you must only have one child. They're bringing that into England. Since when does Britain limit the number of children you can have? And since when do the Americans want to limit say, oh, use this contraception and you can't have children for 8 years? We might be from Africa, but we're not stupid. We're not stupid. The population growth is not that much. You'll have a pandemic that takes over like COVID did, where populations get wiped out. And even that was man-made from a lab in Wuhan. So we're not stupid. What I want to know is, why do you kill the good people? Why do you kill us? Why do you put us out of jobs? Why do you put us out onto the street? Why do you not give us opportunities to advance, to earn good salaries, to travel? Why do you always leave the good people out to struggle? Do you blame people for wanting to leave Canada like me? Because I lost my part of my hearing at Teleperformance. I have a problem with my ears. I have high blood pressure. Everything was preventable. I was telling them what the issues were. I was telling them how it would affect me. They didn't want to listen. And it wasn't only me. It was everybody on our team. And people who are coming in are just watching and they're saying, Belinda, is that how they treat you? I'm like, they're like, can't you get something better? I said, oh, I've been applying. I've been trying. People are disgusted with how I've been treated in Canada. But I persevere because I'm not giving up my hope. I'm holding on to my hope, and I'm counting on all the good things I've done leading to a life of flourishing for me. Because this is not flourishing. Not having an income, not having any social support, not having employment insurance till I find my next job. This is not a life of flourishing. It's not. Shootings in schools. I mean, they used to talk about, oh, these things happen in South America. It's not happening in South America now. It's happening here in North America. So it wasn't those people over there. That's how they treated us. Oh, it's those people over there. Well, now it's happening to these people over here. That's what I'm saying. Things have to change. Things have to change. So we can say a lot of things, but it's our actions. Actions speak louder than words. That's what I say. This is the book, John Maxwell, A Leader's Heart. And I don't have any money to give. When I have money to give, then I will give. But They can't expect me to give money to the church for years now. For years, since 2007, I've been giving money to the church off my debt, off my whatever lines of credit I have, credit cards. I've been giving money through that. I've been giving more than I've received. So I want to be able to now come up. I want to be able to earn those good salaries. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do all those things because I gave before I asked. I gave a lot. Even with my aunts, my uncles, I sent them gifts. My Uncle Marcus, Auntie Teresa, I sent them gifts. I sent them plants. I sent them chocolates. I sent them English mince pies. I did whatever I could with the little I have. So if they don't want me to be family anymore, it's absolutely unjustified. I have not done anything to hurt them. I'm sorry. But if you can't be there for family in the hard times, and that's how you're going to treat people, when you've got properties, you've got cars, you've got jobs, then that's a reflection of you. If you want to call me and tell me I'm not your family anymore, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You'll still be my family, but you don't consider me your family, that's fine. I'm not going to let it hurt me. I'm not going to let it affect me mentally. Why should I? I know I've done right, and I know I've done good. So why should I let it hurt me? Why should I let it affect me? I'm not going to. So for me, I focus on what can I give? How will my decisions affect others? How far can I go in what I want to achieve? I look for ways to stretch what I'm learning, and I look for what it is that I need to do. What are my next steps that I need to take so that I too can have a life that flourishes, not be sitting at home watching all the people I mentored get into HR director roles, HR senior manager roles, HR consultant roles, project consultant roles, project manager roles, business consultant roles, watching speakers travel the world, and I'm sitting at home after I mentored them. And they got into those positions through my name, through using my influence. This is not a reflection of me. I'm sorry. I have done nothing but good in Canada, in the church, for Damien Howard, for Peter Knox, for the Jesuit Institute. It is not a reflection of me. If people can't see the good I've done, the actions I've taken, how I've lived my life, that's a reflection of you. And you need to re-examine why you are viewing me that way. Because it's not a reflection of me. I didn't become a bum. I didn't sit at home and say, I'm not going to study. I'm not going to invest in myself. I'm not going to take courses. I'm not going to upgrade my skills. I'm not going to renew my HR designation. I didn't do any of that, and yet I'm not getting the investment. I'm not getting the opportunities. I'm not getting the good paying job. So it's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of Canada. That's what needs to change. And it's not just me that's saying it. Stephen Harper's saying it. Pierre Poilievre is saying it. The politicians themselves are saying it. So it's not a reflection of me. Everybody laughed at us. Oh, Zimbabweans, yeah, they think they know everything. We were not saying that we knew everything, but you didn't have to put us down and tell us that we had attitudes of entitlement when you are the white conquerors, when you are the ones who colonized, when you are the ones who hurt people, when you are the ones who supported the slave trade. You need to think before you open your mouth and say things to somebody like that, especially visible minorities and those of us who have come here from Zimbabwe, who have survived civil war, who have been through hell in this country just to get a little bit of bread on the table. You need to think. Just because you're an executive working at TD Bank and you've got $1 million salaries doesn't give you the right to be condescending, and it doesn't give you the right to hurt me. It doesn't. Those titles can go tomorrow. You guys are not the smartest guys in the room. You should be learning. Just the same way I'm learning, you should be learning. That's what I have to say. Because it matters. It matters. You think the African leaders are not laughing at us? They're laughing at us. They're laughing at Canada. They're saying, yeah, they took our people there. We want our people to come home. I'll go. I'll go. I've already told Cyril Ramaphosa. I've written to Cyril Ramaphosa. I've written to his foundation. I've written to the Jesuit Institute. I've written to Mnangagwa. I've written to all of them already. And I've told them, you want me to come home, I'll come, because I'm tired of being treated like a slave. You can give and give and give, but you can't pour from an empty cup. If I don't have the money coming in, Blessed Sacrament can't expect me to be donating and to keep giving. I've helped so many charities. I've done a lot for Father Larry. But I'm always bypassed for those jobs in the church, for ministry work, for youth leadership work, for going to the World Youth Day, for work at Regis College, for work at St. Michael's. I'm always bypassed. Why? Oh, you need to work in the church. So how am I supposed to get a job in the church if you don't give me a job in the church? It's discrimination. The whites get all the opportunities in this country. That's what it is.